Hey, let me introduce you to everybody listening. I have Geoff Tate with me, the iconic, legendary, original voice of Queensryche. Geoff has lent his voice to Sweet Oblivion's latest record, Relentless. Comes out on April 9th on Frontiers Records. And Geoff, always so gracious, always so generous with your time. I appreciate you, my friend.
Oh, no problem. Nice to be here.
Um, Sweet Oblivion. This is a little bit different for you. It's a project put together by Serafino from Frontiers. When he first approached you with this project, what kind of direction did he give you? Did he say, I want a Queensryche type of record, or did he just say, here's some songs, put your voice to it?
Well, I asked him to be part of it. I've worked with the same group of people for 30 plus years, and when I was in Queensryche, and when that finished, I thought it'd be great to work with, different musicians, different producers, really have a collaborative effort with a lot of different kinds of musicians. So. Oh God! Somebody just backed into my car.
No way.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Jesus. Hey, can I call you back?
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
Yeah, sorry.
All right. Bye.
Hey, Scott. It's Jeff calling back.
Hey, Geoff. You okay? Everything all right?
Oh yeah, everything's fine. Actually, didn't cause any damage or anything. So.
Okay.
It was just an old guy trying to back up using a backup camera and actually backed into my car.
Well, that didn't work out too well, now did it?
I hope when I get to be in my 80s, somebody tells me, hey, look, it's probably about time you retire from driving.
It's funny you say that. My father-in-law is an older guy, and he's really a staunch Irishman. He can do it. And recently, in the last year or so, he had to take away his keys, kind of. It was getting to that point, and it was great to see him realize that was probably a good idea.
Yeah, I think probably a lot of us we hang on a little too long,
Yep. It takes an accident to make you realize. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's really I think it must be really hard though to give away that kind of independence you're used to living with,
Right.
It's probably a very difficult time of life to come to terms with.
Yeah, to say that, I am too old or too frail or, whatever the case might be to do something that is normal for everybody. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, let's talk about Relentless. It's an exciting, beautiful project. You sound so great on it. The regiment. I mean, what are you doing for that instrument of yours? It's crazy great on this record.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, just lots of clean living, I guess, huh?
Yeah, man, that is it's great. It's really, really sharp. When you got this, when you were given this music, were you given a full demo like with vocals, or did you get instrumental tracks and you added lyrics, or how exactly did you get the music?
Well, the both projects have been just kind of bits and pieces,
Mm-hmm.
different ideas, because you're collaborating with people, and so you're starting with some really solid ideas. You're starting with some riffs. Sometimes it's lyrics only. Yeah, it's just a lot of different things. Really, you can't really. There's no standard for it.
Right. Yeah.
But it's fun. It's fun to work with. I tell you, it's really a different thing to work with people from other languages and other cultures, and work to make something together. I really been enjoying the process, collaborating,
Yeah.
and also the challenge of working in different studios in different places at the same time. like Aldo, my producer for this project, he was in Italy while I was in Ireland recording. And my wife and I rented a cottage in Ireland, Southern Ireland, for the summer, and just moved in. And I spent the summer, working on this record in between hiking and sightseeing, and traveling around sampling the great Irish beer and whiskeys they have there. I just couldn't make up my mind, so I had to keep experimenting with different whiskeys to find out which one was really my favorite. And I'm still not quite convinced. I think I might have to do another visit back.
I was gonna say, that is pretty cool. That we have the technology to do that, and you were able to record, and he was able to produce your tracks from the other sides of the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wherever you might be, that's pretty great.
Yeah, it's actually the way I've been making records over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And I just love it because you get your studio set up the way you like it and the way it works best for you, and it's great to work there and not have to like pick up and use somebody else's setup that's set up for them.
Right.
And then that way you just kind of work back and forth till you get something you like. And the only reason we did it the way we recorded 30 years ago was because that's all there was.
Right.
We were just using the technology of the times. Well,
right.
The technology of the times now is so different and better, and unique, and so much easier, user friendly.
Right. Right. Do you miss? I know you obviously you just said you prefer this better way to record. Do you feel like there's a difference when everybody's kind of in the same room? That live recording, does it?
No, because I've never done that.
Okay.
Actually, never done that. Even when I was working with Queensryche, we never all were in the same room recording. We all took turns.
Right.
We'd have the song, and then we'd spend 2 weeks just recording drums. And then we'd record the bass in a week, and then we'd start doing guitar overdubs, and that would take a month. And then it was vocal time to do vocals, and so it was just a step-by-step process.
Yeah.
But no, hardly anybody. Well, I shouldn't say that. Most people don't record all in the same room anymore because it's too difficult to get a good sound. You're compromised always by the room that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
To get the kind of record sound that you want, you have to have individual tracks that are recorded pristinely.
Right. Yeah, and it shows. I mean, it is pristine without a doubt. Just so well produced. Now you had on the first record, it was Simone Moleroni. This time you have Aldo. I'm going to screw it up. Lenoble.
Lenoble.
All right.
Yeah.
Lenoble.
And then there's a third record that's slated to begin sometime next year, and I don't know who is going to be on that. It's so exciting.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say. You seem to really like that mystery and excitement of that ambiguity of it all. That is exciting for you, isn't it? To work with somebody different.
Yeah, it is. It's a challenge, and to see if you can put your heads together and make something cool that you like.
Right. Yeah. What do you think the biggest difference is working the first record as opposed to working different producer and everything? The second record, how did it change?
Gosh, how did it change? Well, the process is still the same.
Right.
Really. I think
guys...
Aldo's a little bit more like me, a little bit more open-minded when it comes to music.
Mm-hmm.
And probably has more of a musical, a varied musical palette, I guess I would say.
Okay.
Like I like all kinds of music. I mean, I like early jazz music, and I like classical music. I like R&B music. I'm a huge Hall & Oates fan. God, I like Earth, Wind, and Fire. You know, I played keyboards in all my bands growing up until I got into my 20s when I became predominantly a singer in the band. But you know, that was my background. You know, so my musical tastes are all over the map, really.
Yeah, and Aldo's.
But a lot of people don't have that. You know, they have like, oh, I only listen to you know, 1990s metal from Norway. You know, that's what I dig. That's what I like, and that's what I know. That's who I am. You know, they identify with that, and other people, you know, they like a lot of different things. So
yeah, and I can totally relate with that because you know I'm sitting in a room surrounded by music, and it's every type of music you could possibly name. I have something here, so you know that is who I am too. It just each part enriches my life, you know, in a different way.
Yeah, it is, and it's gosh, it's you know, the whole genreification of music that didn't happen up until, you know, predominantly in the last generation. You know, I mean, in my generation, it was all rock music. It was either rock music, R&B, classical, or jazz, and then there was that other stuff called country music, which.
Speaking
So
of,
now there's like all these subgenres of everything. You know?
it's
God,
crazy.
it's so confusing. You know.
It really is, you know, and you know, I have older kids, you know, 21 and 23, and you know, they're talking to me about, you know, and there's thousands of subgenres. It's like,
oh yeah,
okay,
well, and that generation that you just named, oh God, they are responsible for the most. I mean, defining everything. You know, God, they have to define everything. Everything's got to have a. Oh, and you can't use a full word or sentence to describe it. You have to use what they call it, you know, when they abbreviate it. You know.
Yes.
You can't say I don't know. You have to say IDK.
Right. We got text
like
speak.
It's just yeah, text speak. You know, God, do we really need to spend less time communicating? I don't think so. Communication is so important.
There you go. Yeah, it's kind of funny. You know, I mean, before, you know, if you didn't fit into a box, you were just different. Now, if you don't fit into a box, they make a box for you.
Yeah, they make a box for it. Yeah,
everything's got to fit in a box.
I just wish they'd come up with new and original words to describe things instead of giving, like they have this thing called a hack. You know, apparently is a hot tip on how to do something. Well, that's not a hack. A hack is there's another word and a definition for. There's a word and a definition, and it doesn't need multiple definitions, right? Think of a different word. Call it something else.
Right. There's plenty of sounds you can make.
Yeah.
Oh man. Now you do a song on the album called Aria, and it is in Italian for this album, and I think that's the first time you've actually recorded in a different language, is it not?
It's the second time, actually.
Okay, what is the first?
The first is a song that I can't remember the name of. That's on a Queensryche album called "Take Cover."
Oh,
it's a cover song. Yeah.
Right. Okay. But this
I should know that name of that song, but I can't remember it.
I can't either.
Right offhand.
I can't either. That's gonna bug me too. Are you fluent in Italian, or did you just learn the song?
I am fluent in restaurant Italian. You know, I know all the names of all the dishes. I do pretty great on an Italian wine list.
There you go.
No, I don't speak. I don't speak conversational Italian, but I wanted to do a song in Italian because there is so much of Italy in this album. A lot of it was recorded in Italy. I spend a lot of time in Italy. Two of the guitar players that I have on tour with me are Italian, who also appear on this record. my wife and I started this really cool side business called Backstage Past Travel,
Yeah.
where we take groups of people on tours around the world, show them all the cool stuff in a certain town or city. And Italy is one of the places we go quite often. And, you know, the record company is Italian, and why not do a song in the Italian language?
Right.
So I was discussing this with Aldo via email, and he finally gave in and into my wants and needs. And he said, okay, well, but I have to be able to understand what you say. If I don't understand, it cannot go on the album. You understand this, right? I said, yeah, absolutely. So I guess I got the 2 thumbs up because it's on the album. I made the record.
Yeah, it's gorgeous too, and it's really
it's a pretty song.
It really is. I mean, and you know, to hear you sing it in Italian, it's convincing. You definitely sell it. You know, I mean, you sound like what you know what you're talking about. That's for sure. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I have no idea what it's about.
Hey, you're selling it. You're selling it, my friend.
I have no idea what aria is even. No, actually, I was doing an interview last week, and this guy said, you know, there's a song on the album that I really quite like, but I don't know. Something's wrong with my ears that I can't understand what you're saying. It's called aria. I go, it's because it's in Italian. He goes, Italian? You speak Italian? No, I don't speak Italian. I sing in Italian.
Oh man, he didn't realize it was in Italian. Wow.
He didn't realize it was in Italian. Yeah.
Wow. That's.
There you go. You know, people hear music differently. You know, they interpret it different, and you know, they put different meanings to the lyrics than what you as the writer meant. You know, that happens so much. I just gave up after all these years and said, look, when people say, what's the song about? I go, I don't know, you tell me. Because we'll definitely have a different, you know, interpretation of what the lyrics mean, you know.
Yeah, and I think, you know, there are a lot of people, a lot of musicians that I talk to, they don't write too literally. They like that little bit of mystery, and for people to make what they want of the art. You know, when they hear it. And
that's a nice way of presenting it, because it's impossible to write in such a concrete way that you know, everyone knows exactly what it is you mean. It's so difficult to do that, even if you spent the time and effort it took to write it that way. You would always get somebody who you know, thought it was excuse me while I kiss this guy.
Right,
you know,
right.
I am one of those people that thought that was the words to that song by Jimi Hendrix for years and years and years.
Yeah, and it happens. It really does. So that little bit of non-literal.
What's that Panama song by Van Halen? And David Lee Roth is doing that kind of talking part in the middle breakdown. He goes, he got lean back in my, ease
the
what
seat.
did he say? Reach down
between
my legs.
Yeah,
and I ease the meat back. You know, that's.
But you know, for Dave, you know, hey, it fits. You know, is there a song where he doesn't have a breakdown and talk? You know,
it's his thing. It's a thing he does well.
You know? Oh yeah. Nobody does it quite like him. Now, you know, like I said, we spoke in 2017 when you released the new reality, and you mentioned dissolving the Operation Mindcrime band name. Is that still the case? Are you writing a new project of your own?
Oh, I got 3 projects in the works.
Wow.
Yeah.
You are
I don't know what to call them anymore. I don't know what to call them anymore, though, because, you know, the concept of that we've all known called the album is sort of going by the wayside, it looks like. And people are releasing music in all kinds of different formats now and different groupings, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know really what to call what I have going on do I call it, an album, an EP, a project, a grouping,
Yeah.
a cluster? I'm not sure what to call it yet, but I have a lot of like stuff in the works.
Man,
I've been
that's
really busy. I've been so busy. Like usually I'd be touring.
right.
Like in 2019, I think I was home 23 days.
Right.
That's my life. My life has been like that. But now, you're in one place, and it's
Yeah.
such a weird thing to get used to. But I honestly, if it wasn't for the devastating financial hardship
Yeah.
of not having any work,
Right.
I'd be like just head over heels in love with just having all this time to think my own thoughts.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, you've been doing this a very, very long time, and spent years and years and years of life on the road. So this has got to be like a culture shock to you.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like all of a sudden you're instead of moving, you're stationary, and you have to redesign your whole schedule, your day-to-day schedule, and you have all this time now to do stuff,
Yeah.
create. I don't know, come up with a hobby, do things that you've been putting off all these years because you never had the time,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, last time we talked, you said, you kind of regretted not being closer to with the kids and stuff over the
Mm-hmm.
years. And, I see the Instagram pictures, I see pictures of Emily and, you're with the wife and, you're getting family time out of this, aren't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's been great for that. Well, my wife and I were blessed with 4 daughters, and
Hmm.
so I have several grandchildren now, and
Yeah.
I didn't get a lot of time to spend with them as they've been growing up because of the traveling so much.
Right.
And so over this last year, I've been really enjoying spending time with them, and I see my grandkids like 4 times a week now, and actually take them and do stuff with them, and um, it's been a real treat that I've really become, I don't know, kind of obsessed being a grandpa.
Yeah. That's pretty great. That's pretty awesome.
I was always really uncomfortable with the term grandpa.
Make you feel old?
It did because I had my own interpretation of grandpa. I saw my grandpa as this old, slightly paunchy fat guy
Right.
wearing like long Bermuda shorts and dress socks, watering the garden, and I thought that's not me. I'm not a grandpa. Well, yeah, maybe the dress socks, yeah, but and shorts.
You're not watering the garden yet?
No, I'm like the mixed martial arts fan who gets to spar with my grandson, that kind of thing. I got 2
Awesome.
grandsons that are both in mixed martial arts, and they just kick the shit out of me all the time. God.
That'll keep you young.
Oh my God. I had to start wearing an athletic supporter cup kind of thing when I'm around.
And even
Because
when you're not on the mat.
the 5-year-old has a vicious headbutt, I'm telling you.
And
He's
the
like a
exact.
ninja. He just comes at me out of nowhere, He's like, hiding behind the sofa and hiding in places and like rushing out and attacking me.
That's way cool. That's cool that you got that much time with them, and definitely a silver lining to this thing.
It is. Well, I've been trying to look at things like that
Yeah.
from the positive half full aspect,
Right.
rather than oh my God, my life is so miserable. I got to actually look at it and say, no, my life's pretty damn good.
Yeah. That's
Very
great.
very happy right now.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And
I'm just not used to writing. I'm just not used to writing happy songs.
yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
usually in some sort of usually in some sort of contemplative misery when I'm writing, and this is sort of a different place for me to be is happy.
Hey, we're gonna get the whole full gamut.
Right.
Now I noticed that you have, you mentioned Backstage Pass Travel, and I saw, come with me in April 2021 to Ireland. Are you
Mhm.
doing that still?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, the different places around the world have been opening up slowly at different times,
Hmm.
with the pandemic in place, and things are starting to open up now. And
Yeah.
so our tour of Ireland is set for April now. It looks like the country's going to be open and back to some sort of semblance of normal. Maybe it's the new normal, but at least it's going to be open again. And you can't deprive Irish people from the pub for too
Yeah.
long, or it's going to be some sort of takeover.
I know it. My wife is like full blown Irish, and her dad grew up in Ireland, and we go over there to Kerry, and it's. I mean, I don't drink that much usually, but there's not a day. We went over there for a couple weeks. It was 3 Guinness a day, and I didn't even want to. You know what I mean? It was crazy.
Well, you don't drink? What's wrong with you? That's what they say.
Oh yeah, it's like
Yeah.
water over there. Yeah, love,
Yeah, it's
love.
just part of the culture is
Hmm.
socializing in the pub, and that's
Yeah,
what people do. They instead of after dinner watching TV like we do in America, they go down to the pub and
yep,
meet up with their friends in their community and discuss events and
yep,
there's lots of comedy and lots of drama, at the
yep,
pub. It's
yep.
a wonderful meeting place actually.
It's
Once you
amazing.
understand what's going on, because at first you go in there, it's kind of confusing because it's all this activity happening. It takes you a while to figure out that it's okay. This is just how people are here.
Yeah, yeah, totally, and a lot of singing. We went there, and
A lot of singing.
a lot of singing, and it was just
Yeah,
so great.
we had a guy that was on one of our Backstage Pass travel tours in Ireland, and the first night that they got there, in the daytime, like afternoon, and we took everybody around the pub for the evening, and the first night he was there was a young man who stood up in the pub and began singing a song. And in Ireland, the tradition it's one of respect for people that are playing an instrument or singing a song,
Hmm.
and nobody talks. You are in complete bad form if you're talking and carrying on a conversation while somebody is singing a song.
Yep.
It's amazing, so different than other places in the world.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this young man gets up and he sings this incredible song that is just so gut wrenching. I mean, I'm in tears listening to him singing.
Hmm.
And after the performance, he sits down and drinks, and his buddies pat him on the back. And the man who came on the tour with us says, "Okay, that's it. I can go home now. I've seen what I've wanted to see and witness. I've heard about this all my life, and here it just happened. My first 5 hours in Ireland, I see this happening.
Wow, that's that's just so cool. I mean, that's awesome. That is just awesome. How
it,
do people
it
find
it is.
out about it?
We have a website called BackstagePassTravel.com.
Okay.
You can go to. There's probably a button on my Facebook page or GeoffTate.com. You can push that says Backstage Pass Travel. It takes you to the page.
Okay.
It's really cool. We go to Ireland. We go to Italy. We go to France. We go to Germany. We have a Pacific Northwest tour. We take people around my neck of the woods where I live,
Right.
and also we have a new one that's just sold out. It's in Montana this summer. It's in May, I think. And we just take people around and show them places, take them on activities. Like we go on this massive horseback ride in Montana.
Wow.
We take people to all the beer gardens in Germany on that trip.
Yeah.
We take people all around the sites in Rome and in Italy, and it's in Ireland. Of course, it's a pub crawl. Not every day, but
Right.
3 or 4 times a day. 3 or 4 times a day while they're there.
Of course.
But yeah, if you've been kind of reticent or a little nervous about going to a foreign country and sightseeing because you don't know your way around, never been there, or whatever, this is a great way to hook up with people that know the place and
Right.
will take you to all the coolest places you ever want to see and show you a good time. And it's all based around music. There's all these different musicians that join us, and almost every night there's a sing along, and people pull out the guitars, and
Man.
you don't know what's going to happen, but most of the time it's pretty cool.
That sounds heavenly, man. It really does. I noticed I went to Spain probably 6, 7 years ago now, but I had no idea what it was even really in Spain, and no idea how to get around. And we did a tour, and I had never done a tour in a foreign country. We always kind of figured it out. The wow, what the tours are! That is the way to go. It really is.
It can be, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really the way to go because you can spend a lot of time on your holiday at a lot of dead end places,
Hmm.
that sounded kind of cool, but then when you got there, it's, oh my God, this is a nightmare.
Right.
Or you can get into some pretty unsafe areas, not knowing
Yep.
where to go. And
Yep.
what our tour does is it cuts you loose from all that responsibility.
Hmm.
We're the responsible ones, so you can just play and have a great time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I've come to find when we didn't do a tour, we were sitting at a table for an hour and a half trying to figure something out. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? You're wasting
yeah,
half
exactly.
your day figuring it out. So when
Yeah,
it's
like we
figured
have
out,
we have like a fly fishing day where we take people fly fishing. At the same time, we offer going on other things. Like there's a big interest in shooting, hunting, and that kind of thing. We set people up with guides and people to take them places like that.
right, right,
With in Scotland, one of the days we're going out on the boat on Loch Ness. That
wow,
there's a guide that we've hooked up with who guarantees us that we're going to be able to find Nessie, the Loch Ness
right,
monster. So I'm looking forward to that.
yeah,
We're also going to several distillery tours. I love Scotch whiskey, so that's
hmm,
kind of a big thing for me is to take people on that.
yeah, really nice. Ah, that's great. And do you do all the tours? You go on all of them?
Yeah, yeah, I do. Yeah,
Man,
I'm on all of them. Yeah.
man. And I
And
remember,
sometimes
yeah,
on some of them we work to put them in proximity to an actual tour that we're on, like a rock tour, and so we'll have maybe a show or two that week, that people get
right.
to go to, and they hang backstage and they have VIP seats, and they get to kind of live my life a little bit on what that's like.
Yeah, man, super cool, super cool. I remember last time we spoke, you mentioned that one of the things that you really want to do, a bucket list item for you, was to see every country, and it
Yeah.
sounds like you're getting there.
Well, I've been to 68 countries, and
Wow,
which is a lot. But
it
when you
is.
look at how many, there's 126,
Right,
130 countries, so I'm still a long ways away.
right,
And
right.
there's some places I honestly do not want to go. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been to Iraq. I never want to go there again.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh, I'm not such a big fan of the Middle East. Probably won't see a lot of that in
Right.
my life. But there's all kinds of other places that are, potentially amazing that I would like to see. I'd like to see a lot of the Pacific Ocean, Oceania, they call it,
Yeah.
Indonesia and that kind
Yep.
of
Oh
area. I'd
yeah.
like to see more of that.
Yeah. Oh, it's incredible what's on this planet. Um, I just recently talked with Magnus Carlsen, who is on Frontiers. Has got with Primal Fear and Heart Healer. He tells me he says Geoff Tate when I asked him who he'd like to work with in the future. So I'll pose that question to you. Is there anybody that I mean, you've done so much and worked with billions of people. Is there someone that you still really want to work with?
Magnus Carlsen.
Yeah, there you
Absolutely.
go. He is quite
that's the
something.
second.
That guy.
That's the second. That's the second time his name has popped up in a week for me. Isn't that
Really?
weird?
Wow.
He must have said something in an interview, right? That people are quoting now
I
about me. I
guess.
guess.
Yeah, he did to me. He immediately, pretty
Okay.
much, he said Geoff Tate. That's who he wants to work with. So he loves you. Yeah.
Well, great. I'll have to maybe we'll have to make that kind of thing happen. Then maybe. Yeah.
That would be
Well,
cool.
there's so many great artists.
Yeah.
People that you'd like to work with. I guess I've always wanted to work with David Sylvian. I really respect his artistry and what he does with music. But I don't know, it's just there's so many reasons for people to get together and collaborate. And there's so many reasons for them, well, to not, work together for fear or, a lot of people are really super concerned about how things appear and how they look, and so.
Yes.
Oh, I really like this person's music, but I'd never admit that I like it in public because
Right.
for some reason for some reason they fear fallout or something, from liking somebody's art, I don't know.
Like if you were to say Taylor Swift, you might get some flack for that, even though you might want to.
Yeah, from idiots,
Yeah. I mean,
who wouldn't want to work with Taylor Swift?
There you go.
She's a phenomenal artist,
Yeah. Boy, that would.
I don't know if we could find. I don't know if we could find any kind of musical connection, but
right.
Probably, she's a musician's musician. She's just not a pretty face who can dance.
Right.
She is a wonderful singer and a composer on her own. So yeah, highly respected.
Yeah, now that
phenomenally successful.
Oh yeah, completely. And then now that I say it, I'm thinking, I'm kind of hearing it. I'm like, wow, that would be a pretty cool collaboration. Gotta tell you.
Oh yeah, we'd be both fighting for the spotlight, right?
Now, last time we talked, you had mentioned an autobiography you had in the works. Have you touched on that a little lately?
Have I added to it?
Yeah, I mean, is it ready to go?
Oh yeah, it's like an ongoing story. It's everyday life.
Of course.
Today, day 342, I brushed my teeth again. It's riveting stuff. I mean, wait till people read it. So there's a big bunch of words sitting there in a grouping. I don't know how it's going to come out yet, or what it's going to be called, or if there's going to be accompanying photos and explanations for all the madness. Perhaps, yeah. But honestly, the pandemic just set everything back so far. So everything's like a year behind.
Yeah, sure. And you mentioned those crazy stories and stuff, and I remember listening to, it was an audio interview with I think it was Michael Wilton. You were from a long time ago, and he was telling a story of like a record signing at a store or something, and the guy came up to the table and he said, how can I get a backstage pass? And of course, I think it was Michael. He said, staple your forehead. And there was a stapler there, and the guy did, and bleeding all over. And I remember him telling that story, and I have this picture in my head. Do you have any recollection of that?
Oh yeah, it was at a record store signing somewhere in maybe, I'm going to say Florida, because it sounds like something a Florida man would do. And I mean that in all respect, due respect. Yeah, it was just a very amped up kid who was very excited, and he grabbed that stapler and pounded about 15 staples into his head.
Oh my God. No way. Wow. There's a fan, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a fan.
You got a few.
Too bad Michael didn't give him the pass, though.
Yeah, right. Nice try.
No, we gave him the pass. Yeah, we gave him the pass.
Pretty crazy. I just talked to Jeff Pilson like an hour ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, great guy, busy guy too, crazy busy. He worked with Dio, as did you, and worked on the Stars session, as yourself also did. I asked him about that Stars session because I always see that photo and everybody standing there, and that's just a lot of the soundtrack of my life. All those people that I admire so much and love so much in music and have given so much to me are standing in that one photo. take me through that session for you. What was that like? Was that just a long day and you're glad it's over, or was that really a special kind of thing?
Um, well, uh, well, Ronnie was very special, and he actually gave Queensryche its first uh, start touring in Europe, and invited us as a special guest on his tour. He was a incredibly giving individual, and especially when he liked a person or a group or somebody's music, he was very supportive, you know. And we had just finished our first European tour with him, and he called and asked if I'd be part of this project that he was doing. And I, of course, immediately said yes. I always said yes to Ronnie whenever he wanted something. And so much respect for him, his wonderful career, and just a wonderful person. Anyway, I flew down to LA and walked into A&M Studios, and it was just a zoo, a madhouse. And there were just the most people I've ever seen crammed in one building. Hundreds and hundreds of people in the lobby and outside, and it was pandemonium, actually. Got in somehow. I had the credentials. I picked up at the front desk at the hotel. Got in there, and Ronnie met me at the door, and gave me a big hug and ushered me in, and says, "Okay, well, I'm glad you're here. You're just on time. We're ready to have you do your vocal tracks. Are you ready, or do you want to warm up, or what do you want? You want something to drink?" I walked into the recording studio part, and he showed me the microphone, and there's a chair, a table, and some water glasses. And the lyrics to the song were up there, and headphones. And he goes, "Okay, we'll sit here, and we'll do a couple playbacks. You kind of get used to it, and get your headphone volumes. And cool, everything good?" And, "Yeah, okay." He goes, "I'll just be on the other side of the glass." I look over, and in the control room are all those people that are the backdrop to your musical life that you just mentioned.
Right.
I mean, Ted Nugent's in there, and Rob Halford's in there, Neil Schon is in there, Jonathan Cain, and the list goes on and on.
Right.
Everybody that's basically on the record is standing there, and I am just like petrified. This is my third time I've been in the studio in my life, right? I'm like
Really?
25
Yeah. I guess it was
years
that
old,
early.
Yeah, it's really early on in my career, and
Wow.
I was so scared, and now I have to perform in front of these amazing, accomplished musicians who've done more in their life than I could ever dream of doing, right? Oh God, I couldn't even take my sunglasses off. You see every photo of me on that day. I have my sunglasses on. I couldn't live without them, man. I was hiding in my own scene, right? Inside my own head.
Wow.
And then I hear the Ronnie coming over the headphones. "Geoff, are you there? Are you there?" You hear me? I really wanted to take those headphones off and run away because I was so nervous. But he talked me through it, got me calmed down, and I think he's the kind of guy that could always sense what was going on around him. He's pretty intuitive, and I think he was probably hip to the fact that I was, scared shitless, as they say. As David Crosby said, I think it was Stephen Stills said that at Woodstock. But that's the way I felt, just scared shitless.
Wow.
But it turned out okay, and everybody was cool, and
yeah, it did.
we had a good time, and the record was great. So different and weird and strange with all those guitar solos. What a way to make a song. But it was cool and different, and I was really proud to be part of it.
Yeah, and I mean, just you deliver. It's just one line, really, and it's just massive, man. I mean, it's just massive. I hear it, I get chills every single time. I don't know if it's the nervous energy. I mean, obviously your voice just cuts right through everything. But it just.
Well, I was really proud that he asked me to do it, and honestly, I even though it was monumental and a monumental experience for me at the time, I didn't really completely appreciated so much later and looking back on it, and realizing, oh, well, this was a pretty incredible record, and what it did, it raised so much money and so much awareness
Yeah.
from a whole different segment of society,
Yeah.
which is really important.
Yep.
And then years later, Ronnie reciprocated with me and did a lead vocal on a song I wrote for the Operation Mindcrime 2 record.
Too, yeah.
And and he came down to San Francisco where we were recording and walked in, and man, he was amazing. He was absolutely just amazing. Because I wasn't there. I'd never been there when he was in the recording studio. I never saw him do his parts or heard him, singing like that. This was a really new experience for me to actually, put the microphone in front of the man, and ask him to sing my song, right?
Wow, man, that had to be something.
And it was amazing, and it was so it was very difficult, and I'll tell you why. The man gave take after take after take of greatness. It wasn't like, oh, that's the take we're going to use because that's the only one that was great. No, it was too many to choose from. All different levels of great on that song.
Unbelievable.
It's a song called The Chase for those people that have never heard it.
Yep.
And it's very cool. It's Ronnie doing a major duet with me, and we're both singing at the same time over the top of each other, and it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's just, and everything that guy touched, pretty much just magic. Much like yourself.
Well, he was a believer in magic. He believed in the power of magic and positive thinking and willing something into existence. And that's the way he lived his life. And you could see, if you spent any moment with him, you could feel what a positive person he was.
Yeah.
Even when he was mad at you, he was still positive.
Yeah, pretty special. I did see him, actually met him at a store signing many years ago. He signed a photo for me, and then he blew on it to make sure it was dry. I mean, that and that's Ronnie. I think that sums him up. From everything I've heard from people that he's worked with, like yourself, and just his personality, he cared. He cared about people.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. He was very conscious. He was very conscious of his effect on people.
Yeah.
He knew he was, internationally famous, and some people would be put off by that and nervous around him. And he actually worked to make you feel comfortable around him. So many people who are famous or celebrities, they keep people at a very arm's length away all the time. But he wasn't like that. He would just bring you right into his circle and make you feel like you were part of the inner scene and special.
Yeah, that's so special, man. Yeah, it's way cool. And you are taking that example for sure. Last time we spoke for a long time, and I remember last time maybe you got to stop talking to me. Last time we spoke, I think the dog went on the rug right at the end of our conversation.
What happened?
Your dog peed on the rug, I think.
Oh, well, that was pretty usual.
But it's like
that was Elvis, my poodle. Yeah, he just passed away a few months ago. Actually, he was a dog that would never die. I began to think he was like immortal.
How old
he
was
just wouldn't go down.
How old
he was like 18 years
wow.
old.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he couldn't walk anymore. We had to actually put him down because he just was too old to recover from anything.
Right.
But he just had a strong will to live.
Wow. Yeah, I've never had a dog that lived that long. Not even close. I think we've gotten to 12 maybe. Wow, that's incredible. But yeah, now people are hitting your car, You know, I'm sorry, Geoff. I'm ruining your car
Well,
and ruining your rug and
I have this really small, like, compact car, right? And I parked in a giant parking space with it's all marked off, with lines and everything.
right.
And my car doesn't even fit in. I mean, it's so small. There's like 5 feet of extra room in my parking space
You
that's
could
not
fit
being used. But
you could fit two
yeah,
of them
I
in
could
there.
fit 2 cars. But this guy backed into my car.
Wow, wow.
Yeah.
It's me. I am telling you. I hope not. But Geoff, I can't. You such a gracious human being and so generous with your time. It's always great to talk to you, my friend.
Yeah. Well, thank you for letting me go off here. I'm
Yeah, yes,
probably talking too much, but thanks again, and
man.
we'll hopefully talk on the next album release, huh?
Yeah, I hope so. Or the book, that pile of words you
Yeah.
got there, or whatever you
Yeah.
got. Yeah, whatever you got. You know where to find me, and I'll
All
find
right.
you on the next record and whatever you're putting out. I'm always proud to have you on and promote what you're doing because you changed my life. You really did. So I appreciate
Well,
you.
thanks again for the time, and we'll talk to you. Stay healthy, okay?
Yeah, you too. And look up
All right.
Backstage Past Travel for sure. And
Yeah, check it out.
maybe I'll see you out. Yeah, awesome.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, take care.
All right, take care, Geoff. Thanks so much.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.